So I'm back with another Bible reading. I'm actually right now in Oregon. That's why I ain't posting like 4 or 5 days, because we was out here moving out to Oregon, and as you can see, it's very beautiful. Thank God for all of this that we have. And I just wanted to go over something as well. Let me real quick. Oh shit. But I just wanted to go over something. If y'all are ever in a place where you feel like you need to be honest to somebody, but you can't, or you feel like you can't because you feel like they may not accept you or they may not forgive you, I feel like all of us should remember, and I need to remember too, that just because you don't apologize to people for forgiveness. You apologize because you're sorry and because you want to atone for what you've done. And I know that that's what God would want, especially in my Bible. It talks about that a lot. It talks about how you can't expect forgiveness from anybody. You can't expect forgiveness at all. If you apologize to somebody, you shouldn't be expecting them to forgive you. You should be expecting yourself to apologize and to actually want to make a change. You don't apologize for forgiveness. You apologize to atone for what you've done, and because it's wrong and because you feel sorry for it. So if you've done something to somebody, or if you've done something and you need to be honest about it, you can do that. Be honest. In this world, you might lose people because they don't want to hear that, or because they don't want you, they don't want to know that you did something. But you can't put the world first. You got to put God first, and you got to put your family first. And telling them the truth about something might help them. I know for me, I was having an argument with my family today, and we all just was honest with each other, and I feel a lot better. We all talked about it. We all, we had to cry about it a little bit, because, in my own life, I know I've been through a lot of BS, and I've definitely done a lot of horrible stuff to a lot of people that I care about. And a lot of horrible stuff has been done to me, but I'm not about to hold that against anybody, because, what happens in life, it's just things happen. But now that I got that out the way, I'll be reading my Bible today. I'm going to throw that right there. And again, we are in Oregon, so that's why it's going to be a lot of sounds. And I'm outside today. I'm outside reading my Bible today, which I want to do every day because I like going on these walks. And I'm probably, I might smoke a little bit, but I just want to make sure I get my Bible reading out the way first. So I'm going to start right now. We are on Numbers 16, page 128 to page 129. This is why you are revolting against Jehovah. And what has Aaron done that you are dissatisfied with him? Then Moses summoned Dathan, and Abraham, the sons of Elab, but they refused to come. Is it a small thing they mimicked, that you brought us out of lovely Egypt to kill us here in this terrible wilderness, and that now you want to make yourself our king? What's more, you haven't brought us into the wonderful country you promised, nor given us fields and vineyards. Whom are you trying to fool? We refused to come. Then Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, do not accept their sacrifices. I have never stolen so much as a donkey from them, and have not hurt one of them. And Moses said to Korith, come here tomorrow before the Lord with all your friends. Aaron will be here too. Be sure to bring your ceners with, not too sure what that word is, with incense on them, a censer from each man, 250 in all. And Aaron will also be there with his. So they came with their censers and lit them, or ceners, I'm not too sure what it is, and lit them in the place of the incense on them, and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle with Moses and Aaron. Meanwhile, Korath had steered up the entire nation against Moses and Aaron, and they all assembled to watch. Then the glory of Jehovah appeared to all the people, and Jehovah said to Moses and Aaron, get away from these people so that I may instantly destroy them. This bush is making some weird noises, my fault. So that I may destroy them. But Moses and Aaron fell face downward on the ground before the Lord. O God, the God of all mankind, they pleaded, must you be angry with all the people when one man sins? And the Lord said to Moses, then tell the people to get away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abraham. So Moses rushed over to the tents of Dathan and Abiram, followed closely by the 250 Israel leaders. Quick, he told the people, get away from the tents of these wicked men, and don't touch anything that belongs to them, lest you be included in their sins, and be destroyed with them. So all the people stood back from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the entrance of their tents with their wives and sons and little ones. And Moses said, by this you shall know that Jehovah has sent me to do all these things that I have done, for I have not done them on my own. If these men die a natural death or from some ordinary accident or disease, then Jehovah has not sent me. But if the Lord does a miracle, and the ground opens up and swallows them and everything that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you will know that these men have despised the Lord, have displeased or, despised the Lord. It was a giant bug or bee, whatever that is, flying at me. He had hardly finished speaking the words when the ground suddenly split open. Oh, sorry. Oh. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh. He had hardly finished speaking the words when the ground suddenly split open beneath them, and a great fissure swallowed them up, along with their tents and families and their friends who were standing with them and everything they owned. So they went down alive into Sheol, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished. All the people of Israel fled at the screams, fearing that the earth would swallow them too. Then fire came forth from Jehovah and burnt up the 250 men who were offering incense. And the Lord said to Moses, tell Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, to pull those censers from the fire, for they are holy, dedicated to the Lord. He must scatter the burning incense from the senses of these men who have all sinned at the cost of their lives. He shall then beat the metal into a sheet as a covering for the altar, for these censers are holy because they were used before the Lord. And the altar sheet shall be a reminder to the people of Israel. So Eleazar, the priest, took the 250 bronze censers and beat them out into a sheet of metal covering the altar, to be a reminder to the people of Israel that no unauthorized person, no one who is not a descendant of Abraham, may come before the Lord to burn incense, lest the same thing happen to them as happened to Korath and his associates. Thus the Lord's directions to Moses were carried out. But the very next morning, all the people muttered again against Moses and Aaron, saying, you have killed the Lord's people. Soon a great swollen mob formed. Suddenly as they looked towards the tabernacle, the cloud appeared, and the awesome glory of the Lord was seen. And again, I know that this all seems very, it doesn't seem good for real, but in my own thinking, I think the reason why a lot of this happened was because, God knew for a fact that he needed these people for a specific reason. Obviously, God doesn't really need anybody, I don't think, but maybe he does. Maybe God does need us to help us, to help other people. He uses some of us as examples. And maybe he was trying to give people the best chance they could to actually carry out this faith, or whatever it must be, and we don't know how God works, unfortunately, and this world does sometimes suck, and there's a lot of stuff that happens that I wish didn't happen, but that's just how the world is. There's nothing we can really do about it. And I don't think, no matter what, even while reading this book, I don't think that God hates us at all, because he could do the same thing to all of us right now. So clearly he had a change of mind, and maybe he realized that people just aren't, we're not, I don't know, I was going to say maybe he realized that we're not perfect, but God knows everything already, so he probably knows that. And again, he probably gave these people specific orders for a reason, and they didn't follow them. And that's unfortunately how it is for all of us. But I don't think God just wants to kill us all or punish us all. I think maybe that's why he sent down Jesus, to help us, to give us a chance at actually being better. Because no matter what, if you do something wrong and you just give up, then you're not changing at all. Sometimes you need to kind of go through some fire to really like change and to actually get better at things, to actually, to be a better person. Sometimes you really do got to go through some stuff. So, it is what it is. The rod that budded. And all the people began muttering against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have killed the Lord's people." Soon a great swollen mob formed. Suddenly, as they looked toward the tabernacle, the cloud appeared, and the awesome glory of the Lord was seen. Moses and Aaron came and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle, and the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, wait, what? Oh, and the Lord said to Moses, "Get away from these people so that I can instantly destroy them." But Moses and Aaron fell face downward to the earth before the Lord and said to Aaron, "Quick, take a censer and place fire in it from the altar, lay incense on it, and carry it quickly among the people. Make an anointment for them, for God's anger has gone out among them. The plague has already begun." Aaron did as Moses had told him to, and ran among the people, for the plague had indeed already begun, and he put on the incense and made atonements for them. And he stood between the living and the dead, and the plague was stopped. But not before 14,000 people had died, in addition to those who had died in previous day with Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tabernacle, and so the plague was stopped. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel that each of their tribal chiefs is to bring you a wooden rod with his name inscribed. With his name inscribed upon it. Aaron's name is to be on the rod of the tribe of Levi. Put these rods in the inner room of the tabernacle where I will meet with you. In front of the ark, I will use these rods to identify the men I have chosen, for buds will grow on this rod. Then at least the murmuring and complaining against you will stop. So Moses gave the instructions to the people, and each of the 12 chiefs, including Aaron, brought him a rod. He put them before the Lord in the inner room of the tabernacle, and when he went in the next day, he found that Aaron's rod, representing the tribe of Levi, had budded and was blossoming, and he had ripe almonds hanging from it. When Moses brought them out to show the others, they stared in disbelief. Then each man except Aaron claimed his rod. The Lord told Moses to place Aaron's rod permanently beside the ark as a reminder of this rebellion. He was to bring it out and show it to the people again. If there were any further complaints about Aaron's authority, this would ward off further catastrophe to the people. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him, but the people of Israel only grumbled the more. "We are as good as dead," they whimpered. "Everyone who even comes close to the tabernacle dies. Must we all perish?" The Lord now spoke to Aaron. "You and your sons and your family are responsible for any discretion of the sanctuary," he said, "and will be held liable for any impropriety in your priestly work. Your kinsmen, the tribe of Levi, are your assistants, but only you and your sons may perform the sacred duties in the tabernacle itself. The Levites must be careful not to touch any of the sacred articles or altar, lest I destroy them both, or at least I destroy both them and you. No one who is not a member of the tribe of Levi shall assist you in any way. Remember, only the priests are to perform the sacred duties within the sanctuary and the altar. If you follow these instructions, the wrath of God will never again fall upon any of the people of Israel. For violating this law, I say it again, your kinsmen, the Levites, are your assistants for the work of the tabernacle. They are a gift to you from the Lord, but you and your sons and You and your sons, the priest, shall personally handle all the sacred services, including the altar and all that is within the vessel or the vial. For the priesthood is your special gift of service. Anyone else who attempts to perform these duties shall die. The Lord gave these further instructions to Aaron. I have given the priests all the gifts which are brought to the Lord by the people. All these offerings pretend to the Lord by the gesture of waving them before the altar. Before the altar belong to you and your sons by permanent law. Sorry, my reading is still horrible, and I'm not gonna lie, there's people walking by, so I get kind of nervous, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep doing it, we're gonna keep pursuing. The sin offerings and the guilt offerings are yours, except for the sample presented to the Lord by burning upon the altar. Alright, y'all, so I'm at Numbers 19, directions to the priests, laws regulating defilement, I think. Numbers 19 to Numbers 20, 130 to page 131. And again, I can't tell you guys why God made these certain decisions, and honestly, I do feel like maybe it was for the best. I wish that a lot of people didn't have to die, but the thing is that we all get instructions, and we all literally just disobey them. I know for me, I've done horrible things even while I'm trying to believe in God. I've done horrible things that some people can't forgive me for, and I don't blame them. I don't forgive myself, and I don't think I ever will. But in this life, if you give up, if you've done something wrong and you give up and you say to yourself, well, why should I even apologize to them because they don't care and they're going to hate me? Again, you're not apologizing to be forgiven. You're apologizing because you need to apologize and because you should. And some people might get annoyed, and that's fine. They should. You've done something horribly wrong to them. You've done something wrong. They have the right to be upset. But what you should do is you should show them that you do want to be better. Make an atonement for it. Do something, help out more, try to make up what you've done, try to apologize, try to be better in any way that you can. Ask them how you can be better, and if they say you can't be better, then unfortunately maybe they just don't want to forgive you right now. But that doesn't mean they won't forgive you in the future. So if you just give up and you say, oh, well, I'm going to end it all right now because I've done something super horrible and I can't forgive myself, you are basically saying to them that you do not care enough to make your life better and to atone for what you've done. If you just give up right now and you end your own life because you've done something stupid or horrible, that is you basically telling them, well, I don't want to live with this, this mistake that I've done, so I don't care. I'm going to just kill myself right now, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And that's not going to help them. It's not going to help you. And I mean, this is for all people, if you believe in God or not. I know for me, I've done horrible things, and even I've been recently questioning, like, Father God, why am I even here? It feels like I make everybody upset. Why am I even alive? Why do I have to live in this existence where I feel so cursed, and I feel like I've hurt so many people that I didn't want to hurt? Why am I like this? And the thing is, in life, certain things are going to happen. This life is cursed. It even says this whole world is ruled by the devil. God is our Father, and He is He is the creator of everything. But I think it's like this I think it's like this for a specific reason. If you make a mistake, especially now that we have Jesus that has died for all of us, if you make a mistake and you give up on your life immediately, you don't care. I mean, obviously, you obviously probably do. You care so much that you just don't even want to live, and I've been at that point. But if you give up, then how is that going to help them out? That could make them feel worse about themselves because maybe they didn't forgive you or whatever. And nobody owes any forgiveness. We should all forgive each other, but if you've done something wrong, that doesn't mean that you're owed forgiveness at all. You owe them an apology, and it's their choice if they want to forgive you or not. Just the same way as if you get hurt, it's your choice if you want to forgive somebody or not. I think you should, but depending on what it is, you don't have to forgive somebody. Obviously forgiveness is like canceling out a debt. Like, okay, well, you don't have to pay me that back anymore. And for some things you can't repay some things. For some things it's hard to forgive other people for. And some people might never forgive you, but that doesn't mean that they don't love you. That doesn't mean that they want you to die or that they don't care about you. That's just, you've done something that they can't forgive you for, and it sucks. It really does. But I know for me, I've done a lot of horrible things that people can't forgive me for, and I understand it, and it hurts being told that. But it's true. You can't. What am I going to do? Sit here and expect you to forgive me because I messed up? That's just stupid. But Again, I would just say if you've done something wrong, apologize as hard as you can and try to be better. Try your hardest to be better, because if you give up, you're not trying. And unfortunately, sometimes, even when you are trying, sometimes those people may still not like it, but you have to. You can't just give up and just say, oh, well, I'm just going to keep being a bad person. No, you got to try. And again, some people in this world aren't going to forgive you. Some people in this world aren't going to like you. Some people may even turn you away because of your beliefs. And it is what it is. Some people, you got to lose some people in his life. If it's your own family, then don't ever lose your family. Don't ever, just because you've made a mistake or they've made a mistake, don't ever turn them away. Don't ever say like, oh, well, I hate you now and I don't want to be with you, or I don't want to do this, that, and the third, because I know I have people in my family that have done horrible things to me, and I've done horrible things to my own family and to my own friends, and I wish I could take all that back. And it sucks that I can't. I ask God all the time, why am I even alive? What's the point of even being alive if I'm here to cause all this, it feels like I'm here to cause destruction. It feels like I'm here just to go to hell. I feel like I'm already in hell sometimes, but that's not the case. You're in this life for a reason. You're here to make mistakes and atone for that mistake. I think, in my own personal opinion, we are all here to make mistakes, and you shouldn't want to make mistakes at all. You shouldn't want to hurt people. But if you do, you got to be the bigger man and realize that you need to apologize and be better. You're not going to get anywhere by just hating yourself and, throwing a little pity fit and, oh, I hate myself and I want to die and all this. That's not going to help you out at all. That's not going to help them. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help anybody. So all you can really do is try to repent. And repentance isn't just apologizing, for example, to God. You can't just keep saying, I'm sorry. You need to show that you want to be better. And it's hard. It could take you years. It could take you years, months, whatever. It could take you a long time. But as long as you do that, I believe that God will be proud of you. If you can make some type of change in your life to where you don't want to hurt people, or you don't want to do this, or you don't want to do that. So, just make sure that you try to be better. That's what I'm trying to say. Just try. If you've done something wrong, try to be better. And I'm doing it as well. I'm trying to be better. I know a lot of us in this world, we're all trying to just be better. And it's hard. I'm not saying that it's not. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean that I can do whatever I want. And doesn't mean that I have some type of authority to do whatever the fuck, to do whatever I want. I don't have any of that. And I don't really, I don't want to. When I was younger, I definitely wanted to hurt people. I definitely wanted to be that person that's, I wanted to be stupid. That's what I wanted to be, dumb. But you can't live your life hating people and wanting to hurt people, because then when you grow old and you're sitting on your deathbed, you will have so many things that you wish you could change, but you can't do it because you're old and you're too old, or you're too weak to do anything. And that's the same way for apologies. You should give all the apologies you have right now to people before you can't. Because one of these days, we're all not going to wake up. One of these days, who knows? One of these days, maybe tomorrow, Jesus might come back, and then, oh, well, we don't got no more chances. There's no more, there's no more. That's all. So just apologize while you can now, and try to make better choices while you can. And obviously, I am kind of a hypocrite by saying this, because I've made a lot of bad choices and continue to do them. But I'm really trying to be better now. And that's not really saying much, oh, well, I've done this, that, and I'm trying to be better. No, it's not like that. I shouldn't have done what I've done regardless. I should not have hurt my friends and my own family. But I truly do hate myself for that, and I truly do want to be better. And hating yourself isn't going to do anything. I've hated myself for years. I'm 19 right now, and I've probably hated myself for most of my life, and it never helped me at all. It made me worse. It made me just feel like I don't care. I felt numb to it. I just didn't want to, and then I turned to drugs. I started turning to pills, weed, alcohol, all this, and it made it worse. It made it a lot worse, to the point where I didn't care if I lived or died. And that doesn't help anybody. That's going to make you're going to be so down that you really do need God. And at that point, he might not come to you because maybe you wasted all your chances. But I truly do believe that if you need God, he will be there for you. Sometimes it's like a teacher, though. If you're doing a test, your teacher's not going to sit there and just help you through the whole test. You got to do something by yourself. They will sit there and give you some, pointers and give you some tips. And, and I feel like that's how God does. I feel like God is that's why they say God is like a father. We don't actually, God's not an actual man, or God's not an actual, I think God is more. People who say that they ask the universe for things, they kind of do got it right. I think you should always be asking God for things, but, how do we know that God isn't the universe? Because I'm sure God is as big as the universe. He's the one who made it. He's probably even bigger than that, And I say like he, or, which I shouldn't say, because God's not a he or a she. It's, God is a being, I believe. It's like when I think of God, I think of like a cloud, or like the universe. I think of the universe. But I wanted to make this video to tell y'all that if you've done something stupid, it's not too late to change. The only time that it is ever too late for you to change is when you've given up on life and you've ended your own life, or you're dead. If you're alive right now, if you're breathing, you're watching this video, you have time to change. You have time to make something of yourself or do something to help somebody else. You have time for that. And don't waste your opportunities. Do not make excuses on why you shouldn't do things. And if you have problems like I do, it's really hard for me to talk to random people. But I promise you, prayer will help you with that. It may not be instant, but it'll help you. I know for me, I'm just getting to the point where I can talk to random people. I have people in my own family that I don't like to talk to, But for now, that's gonna be my video. I'm gonna end it right now because I got someone calling me. So God bless you guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll make another, recording out here. But thank you guys for watching, and God bless y'all.